Hey everybody, Robbie here, Robbie's Fly Tying Channel. I am on a very speedy attempt to fly fish right now. This is my Goture Red Fox 24-foot Tenkara rod. I did an unboxing video on it yesterday. And anyway, I had run out of level line at home, so I took this level line off one of my other Tenkara rods and I put it on here. I only have about 17 feet of line, and I kind of figured that 24 feet of line, which is the length of the rod, was going to be perfect, but it doesn't matter. I only have 40 minutes before it gets dark, so I raced down here. I got this thing together and I'm going to see how it goes. Anyway, it's going to be hilarious. If you saw my video yesterday of me unboxing it, this thing is it's going to be interesting. I had to go here. I had to go behind the hatchery again because I can't be in a spot where there's a lot of trees, because this thing, like I said, is 24 feet long. It's going to be challenging enough, but there's a spot back here where I think I'm okay using it. So I'll see you at the river. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Okay, I've got the rod. Oh, the sun is right there, isn't it? I don't even know how to cast. I mean, there we go. Hell, I guess that was a cast. This is really interesting. 24 feet long. I've got about 18 feet of line. So obviously it's twice the length of a Tenkara rod, so you can hold it with one hand like I am right now, but it's kind of, I don't know. This is going to be one of those things, I'll just use it every once in a while, but I like the light feel of a regular Tenkara rod. But I'm curious to, when I get a hit, how well I'm going to be able to feel it. And it's weird to cast. Let's see. God, it casts pretty well, actually. I'm just trying to see how... I'm curious. I'm looking forward to getting a hit so I can kind of... I can't tell what it's going to be like. It's kind of big. It's a little bit cumbersome, a little bit heavy. But I think it's going to be fun as long as I'm in these places where there's no trees above me or right behind me. Like right here, this is a great place to use it. It's pretty funny. That's really the only way I can describe it, is just to say that it's funny. Anyway, I'll turn the camera back on when I get a fish. I had a fish. So if you'll notice, by the way, when I'm casting with two hands. It actually casts really nice. The amount of line I wanted on here is I wanted another 5 or 6 feet of line, but this doesn't seem so bad. Anyway, I just had a pretty nice fish on, and considering this thing's 20... I got a snag. Look at this thing bend. Can you see it bend? Here, I'll put it up in the air. It's kind of funny. What isn't funny is I don't want to lose these flies. Anyway, it's got more sensitivity than... There we go, I got it out. Than I thought it would for a 24-foot rod. So I must say that. But like I said, if you're fishing all day, you're only going to want to use this part of the time probably, because it's just a little, like I said, it's a little heavier than a regular Tenkara rod, obviously. Okay, here's another example. I've got a snag. Look at the bend on this thing. Oh my God, this is... So, it's strong. You could get a big fish in for sure on this thing. Anyway, I got to try to get this snag out. Darn it. The way I'm doing it, I'm holding about right here. If you do this, and you make it so the butt of the rod is under your arm, it's not hard to hold with one arm. Because for me personally, I like to, I've gotten a few hits, by the way. I haven't hooked anything, and it's starting to get dark. I hope I can get one. But I like to hold the rod with one arm. And it's really not hard as long as you put it under your arm. You're not going to want to try to hold this at the very end with no support because, there's a little one messing with. So I lost one of my wet flies, and now I've only got one wet fly on. I had two. There's a little one messing with my line, though. Hopefully I can catch it with the video on and see what it's like to bring a fish in. It's real small, though. Finally got a fish. It's real small. So, see, with the shorter line, the fish was up in the air, right? That's why I wanted the longer. There we go. He just got away. That's why I wanted the longer line. God, it's really dark, but I'll do my final assessment on this rod when I get home, when it's not so dark out. I'll try to get one more. I'll just say right now, for the size fish that I'm fishing for right now, it's definitely overkill. Oh, it was a leave. You do not need a rod like this for these little tiny fish. But I'll tell you right now, if you want that long reach, or if you're fishing for big fish, I could get a steelhead in on this thing. I'm convinced of it. This thing has a lot of strength. It's not something I'm going to use very often. I mean, when you look at this river, it's not big. And it's just overkill using something like this, but I just got another hit. But it definitely is going to have its place. The South Fork of the Boise River, where the fish are all really big. I definitely want to try to use this next year, next spring. So at least I caught one little fish. Okay, I'm back home, and I want to give my final assessment of the Goture Red Fox 24-foot Tenkara rod. First of all, I have no complaints with it, honestly. If you're fishing for big fish, or you're in a place where you need that reach, like in a pond or a lake or a really big river, then it's perfect. For the river I fish in, and for most of the rivers that most people fish in, it's overkill. Amazingly, the only fish I caught was about 5 inches, and I felt it bite with... The sensitivity is amazing considering this thing's 24 feet long. It's really surprising. I mean, I was stunned. My biggest complaint, it's just not as light as a 12-foot Tenkara rod, and how could it be? But that's not really a complaint, it's just a fact. So a lot of times it's not always easy to hold it with one hand. When I was holding it with one hand, I was doing this under my arm, and that actually made it pretty easy to do. So really, if you're gonna fish for fish between 15 and 25 inches, I mean, I would have no problem catching a steelhead on this. So I decided I'm going to keep this rod for when I go to places like the South Fork of the Boise River, where the average size trout is 20 to 24 inches. Maybe I'll use it at the Oahe, where the brown trout are monsters. But yeah, it's perfect for that. You could get a very large fish in on one of these, trust me. But no, for day-to-day use in the Boise River, or my friend Ryan, Fly Fishing Ninja, for him fishing in the Deschutes, overkill, definitely overkill. But it's a good quality rod for $26. You cannot go wrong. Oh, Ryan asked me if this was cork on the handle. It feels like it is, but it's got some kind of material over it. It's kind of bizarre. But no, it's a good rod. I'm going to use it at the South Fork next spring, and it's going to be fun. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I appreciate it. Please subscribe, and I'll see you at the next video. Okay.